Going live. Welcome to the People's Ring. It's getting a little hot in the kitchen right now, and some people gonna need to get somebody gonna have to take a whooping. I say so. Well, they already been taking a whooping, and that's why they grumpy as hell and spend their dime to hack the website. Yeah, they got the hackers. But that's not. We just talking about that off the cuff right here because we back up, and then we had one little situation, and then my people working on it. My people working on it, Humera, and well, we got a new team member working on that too, Humera now, and they're going to get it figured out. In the meantime, we're rolling. We don't roll. I don't roll with limitations. So if you need, and we having to hack the website itself this week, next week, I'm having it for a week. Yeah, because they gonna try to shut me down. So I'm just gonna sell a whole bunch of shit real cheap so I can make up for what they made me. And I got people. I'm gonna say my friends and people who care about me, whatever. They're people in the program because my family already know. Step on over there and get out of the way. And I'm worried about you, Coach. You know what? I ain't got time to be hearing none of that shit. You know why? Because when I was worried about myself, yeah, I got that. Okay, that's what I got. That's my government ID from being hauled off the CCA and shipped all over the place a whole bunch of times. So yeah, everybody worried about me? No, I'm not worried about me. I'm a little worried about that. Okay, because the last time I was worried about me, that happened. So we ain't doing that. It's we're gonna. I ain't going down with the ship, but I'll have to make that decision. Well, our ship ain't going down, so decision made. Bam, it's done. So if you need something, call me. I ain't the website's back up. Most of it's, but I ain't changing none of that shit. This is for people who've been supporting me and been coming to the live streams and been buying my invested. This is for those people. Well, I'll see other people too that are just starting to come, but it ain't on the website, and it ain't. You gotta call me. You gotta call me, and then I'll tell you. Brandy called me today, and she's pretty happy. She's gonna start her own. She's gonna start her own coaching business when she gets done crushing these people trying to take her dad's property. We did say trying. But we're in the People's Ring, because we got some attorneys to shut us down, and now we're gonna punch their ass back in the face and let them know how we do things. But that's not what we talk. That's not what we came to talk about tonight either. So, but that's how we're gonna get them run for their money because y'all know I ain't they want to play. It's funny because I never really they're trying to shut me down. Could I shut them down? Oh, they don't have a license. They don't have a license to practice law, and the Swear versus the Board of Examiners, the Supreme Court rule that no state can practice Oh wait, the state's not involved with them anyway. The state, they didn't get their license from the state. They got it from a corporation. They got their license from a corporation. Okay. So I'm like, they're going to try to shut me down. I'm going to shut them down too. Okay, but I don't roll limitations. How about if I make the documents to shut them down and then give them to people for $5? I ain't lying. What if I sold them $25 for the whole package to shut down? Oh, to shut down. What are we talking about? Now y'all know that I don't spend a whole lot of time on the why. I mean the what. I ain't got time for the what. I want to talk about the why. So to shut down. Oh. I think what we're going to do is we're going to educate people and educate people to let them know that somebody's lying if they told you they had a license, and somebody's lying, and I think they call it fraud, constructive fraud. I don't know. If they make you believe they have a license and they specialize in something and charge your ass a whole bunch of money when they don't have no license, number one, and number two, they ain't the one done the work. So why wouldn't they teach you how to do the work like we do here? Oh, okay, sorry, because then they couldn't charge you as near as much as they can charge you when they lie to your face. Maybe that's it. Oh, it's coming out. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. The truth's coming out. Okay, you guys, hang on a minute. I'm going to. Okay, we're back. We're just going to do screens here. Okay, guys, welcome to the Pro.
Connected to Pixel 6A, ESKTOP F39SF2K. Connect.
Se Legal School. You get to be the judge around here. I'm Coach Neighbors, and in this video, I'm going to open up my YouTube channel, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like from my side and how to do a few things on the channel. So, okay, so this is what my YouTube channel looks like on the home page. Pro Se Legal School. You be the judge. Stopping the court process 101. Now, right here is a link, and this link goes to, look at there. Goes straight over to the website. This is where you need to go to start out learning what you need to know. Here's what you need to know to stop the court process. Learn here what makes me different. And then there were mistakes that for people making. Welcome to Pro Se Lawsuit Center. I'm Coach Neighbors. In this video, I'm going to show you guys my YouTube channel and how I set up the YouTube channel so you guys can do legal research. And I'm just going to show you how. Okay, guys, I want to share with you guys what the YouTube channel looks like and how I set it up so you guys can do legal research on it. So this is what it looks like from my side from the front. Now, right here are the instructional videos for each lawsuit package. And, there's some other videos in there too that are very helpful for people to learn and understand. And then here's the video review playlist of reviews from, that's Coach Regina. And I just talked to her yesterday, and she's going back to court with, they're still trying to pull the wool over people's face. And this is Coach Nikki, and she was one of the first ones that came out of the woods as a coach to help people get the deed out of their office, and they didn't even have to file a lawsuit. And this is my friend Carrie Neighbors. She's also my ex-wife, but I'd rather just call her my friend because the other words sound rough. We're friends. Oh, and she's doing a review on, I helped her out with a situation with Airbnb. Okay, now let's go back up here to the top. Now, the way this is set up, you can go to videos here, and then hit the little search window. And then put in judge. Bam. Oh, there's a bunch of videos about the judge. I'm just Now you can narrow it down, but I just want people to see. How about we put in prosecutor? Bam. Oh. Don't wait. Learn how a prosecutor manipulates and threatens you. Oh. Oh, I love my channel. Oh. So, there's everything and I'm pretty sure this appears to be from the newest. Now, this one's a little bit old. That was a year ago. Yeah, but, you can search any kind of way. You just have to not, to come on the site now with limitations. And you can, okay, so how about if we just wanted to just learn about the court? Bam! Courtroom chaos. Object to everything. Oh, evicted. The court had no jurisdiction. Oh. So now that narrows it down. What if I just wanted to? Well, I just want to learn about the police. Oh, there's some stuff in there on the police. Yeah, I think you kind of see how. Now, those are the main videos. These are the shorts, and do they work the same way? Bam, and there you go. Judge on the grill. So that kind of gives you an idea, Master Judge, how things work over there. Now we don't do podcasts, but we do have live streams. So in this category, you have all the live streams that we've done. You can go back and look at them if you want, if you need. And then over here we have the playlist. And then we have an area for a post. So I post stuff all the time over here. And I don't have a store set up because these people take too much money for me to put my store in there. So, well, we're gonna work something out on that. Now, this is what it looks like from the backside. This is where I do most of my work at, or whatever. Or I can take a look at the dashboard. I can see how things are going. I can check and see if my count's going up and down, if my people come in. And then, so this is regular videos. We just uploaded this one today. Well, yesterday. Uploaded that one yesterday. And then these are shorts. These got uploaded today, and some more are being uploaded later on this afternoon. Now, when we have these shorts, they're kind of a pain in the butt. How people tell me, hey, you sound like you've been drinking, or you're drinking, or whatever. I got plenty of time to drink. I don't need to drink when I'm performing and getting shit done, because I don't know where people. Okay, these shorts are automatically chopped up by the AI, and they just chop it. I didn't know how to figure that. So sometimes it don't make sense. Sometimes it's chopped up, and I didn't really like them. I didn't use them. And then YouTube started shadow banning me and doing all these different things. Okay, but they show these shorts automatically because they're trying to keep up with TikTok. So we use them in our favor. We put ads in them with a link to our products. So if you're reading this and it's about something, there's a link in there that's going to take you to a product page. Okay, we care more about that than the words that come out of my mouth that are chopped up automatically by the machine. Okay, because Right. No, I don't roll like that anyway. My dad was a Marine. You're taught to get shit done. That's what we do. Okay, so I think that's a little quick look at the YouTube channel. You guys can check that out sometime. It's time to get out here and go do something. Thank you guys for the value, sharing your time. I'll see you in the next video. Welcome to Pro Se Lawsuit Center, where we provide what you need to take care of business in court without an attorney. I'm Coach Neighbors, and in this quick video, we're going to edit what we're doing for Henry. Yeah, they're still trying to throw, Henry Jones. And we're about to have the Henry Jones show. So this is going to be the first time that our goal is to stop the process in state court. Bam. Okay, we're sharing right here. This is new. And as you guys can see, me and Henry on this puppy dog right here, $2 million supplemental pleading for defamation, fraudulent concealment, and due process violation. Oh. Okay, so, when they come up in here trying to talk about my stuff, throwing my stuff out, when they're throwing my stuff out, I mean Henry's stuff. And when they don't provide and find the facts and the conclusions of law. So we about to address that puppy dog right here. That's defamation. Defamation for both myself and Henry. Now, I had to do a little work to figure out how to fit that all in, but we got to fit in right there. And this should be a document that everybody can use when they dismiss the stuff, bam, you got from me. I'm a little fired up today. I don't know if y'all can tell. And I ain't been drinking no tea. I'm fired up today because we bring some, and now I get to sue their ass too for throwing my stuff out. Okay, my stuff shouldn't be thrown out. Defamation, publishing false statements, and using implications concerning the plaintiff's legal position, standing, and entitlement to relief entered into the court record, relied upon by enforcement actors from the government who come to throw your shit out, and cause reputational harm and concrete injury to the plaintiffs. My reputation getting harmed because they're dismissing this stuff I'm putting together and trying to say that it's fraudulent concealment, the defendant's duty to issue findings of facts and conclusions of law and to disclose the basis for dismissal. The defendants knowingly concealed the absence of those findings, substituted, fabricated procedural jurisdictions, and relied upon the concealment to terminate the plaintiff's rights and remedies and to trigger enforcement action. This is hot. Yeah, this hot. Oh, Coach signed it right there with his little chicken scratch and his pink pen. They like my pink pen. Okay, so that's the one that's mine right there. Oh yeah, we gonna get. Henry's on here. This is Henry's, and come on now. I got this. Now this right here is the supplemental. This is the supplemental substantive due process violation lawsuit. This is preserving the due process. The substantive due process. Now, we added this, and then as you see, the lawsuit there. And then we have that, and then we have exhibits. Oh yeah, Exhibit A, objection to the judicial notice of fraudulent conveyance and failure to recognize the notice of list pending. So we're objecting to that. Oh, so we can save those, and so we did. We objected that. They don't. Oh, the judicial notice of fraudulent conveyance. This is what we objected to. We filed this. They ignored it, so we're filing our objection to them ignoring. Oh, they didn't know they was getting set the hell up. Oh, we're also objecting to this temporary restraining order there that they ignored it. And we're objecting to that and demand to dismiss the action for defective pleadings. They and fraudulent concealment. We know they just ignored all this stuff. They don't have to answer nothing, but they want us to jump through their hoop. Well, we jumping through a hoop, but I don't think it's the one they want. All right? Because we're moving to demand to dismiss for lack of subject matter jurisdiction. Now, this is new too, and this is hot. This is new and hot. We're moving to dismiss state stuff and to transfer the case over to federal district court. Bam, bam, bam. That's like 4-5. Now, I've done this one time a long time ago. I didn't have the resources for learning that I have available now. So we're doing this again. We're going to move it over to, and I don't care. Generally they say you have to pay, but you don't have to pay because we're going to move their case over there. And we're going to use this with demand and have it dismissed. And this will be something that I need to put on the site so everybody can use. Jam up the state court process and move their case that they filed over to federal court. Now, we haven't done it this way yet, but we about to. And make them take it without paying the $400 fee. I know what y'all saying. They told me I'm crazy too, and I'm living with it. I'm living with it. What's next? Supplemental pleading due process violations. Now, all of this, bam, objection to failure to take notice of the judicial notice of fraudulent conveyance. This is power right here. We've been telling you to file that judicial notice, in the case, or put it the notice of fraudulent conveyance over there. But now you see why. For those of you who have this filed in your case, the judicial notice package that's on the website gives you opportunity to go after them in a different way. Bam, in a different way that they ain't used to. They ain't got no defense for what? They don't have no offense or defense for this shit that we bring to the table right now. Bam, and that's that. And anybody that think that any attorneys out there think they got an answer, shit, ring me up. And we'll set you up so you can come on the show and let us know what's going on right here. Because I don't understand what the hell is really going on right here. Okay, but I tell you what, we got some badass fire right here that we bring to the table. 24/7, baby, 24/7. Okay, that's it on that fire. We about to get on up out of here, but we'll be back. I'll be back. Welcome to Pro Se Lawsuit Center, where we provide affordable, battle-tested, non-conventional legal weapons that you can use to start the court process without an attorney. I'm Coach Neighbors, and in this video, we're going to review updates to the residential property tax lawsuit package, and we're going to also talk about the workshop coming up. The residential property tax breakdown workshop, where we show you what the real numbers are on both sides. And anybody that comes to the workshop and can tell me what the most expensive thing is on the list, go get something free. So that's what we're gonna do on that. I'm Coach Neighbors, and we about to roll this property tax pack. Okay, so before we get to that, we want to talk about the strategy that we use to stop the court process. Now, we figured out how to keep it simple because, the other stuff and complicated the mortgage and all the steps and how many times you got to change the stuff in court, all that stuff is getting a little ridiculous. So we just figured out, since the state is the one that's attacking you, and the state is the one that's paying the judge to take your stuff or lock you up in jail. And the state is the one that's paying the attorneys that they sent to help you. And the state's also paying the prosecutor that they sent to take you. Yeah, I think I got that right. Okay, so it's not going to do any good in their conventional system trying to do all that stuff, prove all that stuff. You need to start the gate. At the gate. That's what we started at the gate. Now, what we've learned how to do from the real-time feedback is to cut to the chase and add the people that's, So we just like to stop the state court process and get on out of there and get your lawsuit filed over in federal court, and then serve those people. And then you're going to demand federal court just order them to a settlement table because they can't respond to nothing that you filed. They cannot respond. State court players can't respond to federal case law with statutes and codes. No, and they can't respond when you add them to their own action using the counterclaim. And I'm going to show you that here in a second. You add them to their own action, $200 million on the counterclaim that you get in my package. It comes if you get the package, you get the counterclaim and the lawsuit. We use the counterclaim to get the money damage on the table, stop the state court process, and then you get your lawsuit filed in federal court. But and when you head it over there, you want to take a certified copy of the state court docket sheet. I said sheet. I better leave that one alone. You want to take a copy of that with you over to federal court. And now you're arguing that your due process was violated. They violated the Tucker's Act, the Foreign Agent Registration Act. They violated this stuff last week. They violated your due process. That's what makes everybody's stuff the same. People telling me, but mine is unique. Yours, no. They violated your due process. They violated his due process. They violated my due process. They violated everybody's due process. And until you learn how to go after them for why and not waste your time arguing the what, you're going to end up getting kicked in the butt. We've learned how to do that. We addressed the why. Why are they able to violate you so easy? Because they're violating your due process. So we're going to show you, I'm just going to show you the outline, and we try to add this in all of our packages. Now, when you understand this and everybody's stuff's the same, then that just cuts out all the pressure and overthinking and all of that stuff that you do in their conventional program, worrying about proving to the judge this or showing the judge that judge getting paid, okay? So it don't matter what the hell you show them, they're getting paid. The only time that a judge getting paid gives a crap, and any judges can chime in and come to the stream or something or whatever, the only time that they give a crap is if they've been forced to visualize your shared liability. That don't happen very often because not very many people are in the non-conventional program. You just add them to their own stuff, and it's bam, it's a wrap. They can't litigate a case they're a party to. They can't represent each other. They can't represent anybody else from there. And if you want to be like butthead about it, then you could add the State Bar Association as a plaintiff. You add them as plaintiff to your counterclaim. You jam it in their face without having to serve them, without having to pay, without having to ask them for leave of court, which we don't do anyway when we want it, and without any of that. And now the case is done. Now you're out on a 50-yard line. Maybe a little further. And get your stuff lined up in federal court. And then you want to order the federal court judge to make them come to the settlement table when they get there. Okay? Because here's what you got. Here's what you got. They could not respond to federal case law and federal acts down there on the state level. They still can't respond to them on the federal level without having a federal bar card. Bam! Oh, you can get one. I dropped it down $25 on the website. You can get one from winningcourtnow.com. Get your federal bar card today. Okay, so they still can't respond. And I haven't heard of one single time that they got a federal attorney that was interested in, oh, you know why? Because if I was a judge, I'd be saying, oh, hell no, y'all get get that shit out the back door. And usually they give them a date. The judge gives them a date to get your ass under control. And then the attorneys will send you a notice. They'll mail you a notice in the mail that your pleading was deficient. A notice. It didn't go through the court. It ain't. They'll mail you a notice because they're not allowed to say any more in the case. So they'll send you some notices and see if they, Yeah, we'll talk about what you do about that too. So let's just do a screen share. This is our counterclaim strategy, and we're trying to leave this in a copy of this in each of our packages, or we're planning on doing that. So the counterclaim strategy is basically what I just kind of outlined to you. You know, people get all nervous and they got the package has this chops out all of that stuff that we were having to do in state court to stop the process. We're having to do this, move it, file a temporary restraining order, do all this stuff. Okay, we started stopping it by just adding federal case law to everything we filed, and they can't respond. So, but that wasn't quick enough. Bam! Wasn't quick enough. Now, let me put it this way. It wasn't decisive. No, that sounds like we're trying to knock them out. Let's put it this way. It wasn't painful enough, because I like to make it painful, but I ain't trying to knock them out because I ain't done. So when we implemented this, we didn't have to file most of the stuff, and that's why we changed our business model. Now we have core documents that we're selling out of the four main things: the two property tax packages, the foreclosure package, and the prosecutor package. We're selling the main core document, the main documents for $149. Now you don't need $1,200 to kick the prosecutor's butt. You can get started, and any supporting documents are pretty much structured with the information from the core document. I'm just throwing it on the table. Now you can still get the whole package and go sit down and have a whole lot of fun without having to do a bunch of work. Okay, but if you can't afford the package, you can still have a lot of fun, but your ass is going to have to do a little more work, which is good, because if you don't do the work, you don't understand, you won't know what words to say when they're in your face, jacking with you on the Zoom call, on the Zoom crap, and the internal conflict jams up their system and stops the state court process cold. And the court cannot continue to issue orders or enforce judgments without further violating. So remember, at the gate, we talked about forcing them to visualize their shared liability. But yeah, you guys can see how powerful that is. So in this video, I'm going to show you the documents in the residential property tax package. I talked about them in the last video, but I didn't realize that it wasn't showing the actual document. It was just showing the screen the document came out of. So we got that figured out now. And the first document that we're going to show you here is a complaint for property tax extortion, real estate deed fraud, and due process violations. And we're just going to show you just a little bit of this is actually the second page, but it's really the first page with anything on it that has value, so you can get idea what we're bringing to the table here. And you can see this is fire here. We're not playing. Everything they're doing, the taxes are not portioned, which is what the Constitution calls for. And we're having a workshop on most people don't know what they spend your property tax money on. They assume it's schools or whatever. And once you learn that, you'll understand why it keeps going up so much every day. This we included, and for people who are facing the foreclosure. We got this screen share again. I'm going to go with screen 2. Okay, this is the counterclaim that you would file in any case if you invest in this package and they already have a case against you, or they're foreclosing on a property tax lien or whatever. It doesn't really matter, but because this handles everything. This is a counterclaim injunction relief for fraudulent concealment due process violations under the Fair Debt Collection Act practice and the statement of constitutional emergency. Now, this is a counterclaim for, if they already have, and it's not addressing the foreclosure. As you can see, you're addressing fraudulent concealment and due process violations under 42 USC and the Fair Debt Collection Act practice, which is basically what's going on with them collecting, but we don't stand on just that. That's last, because that's their stuff, and we need this firepower that's connected to the Constitution in front. So fraudulent concealment is a federal legal doctrine that tolls the statute of limitations. I don't know if you understand what that means, but that's like a double punch and a stinging roundhouse kick in the face, because now, if you can prove that it was fraudulently concealed, you can bring this to the table anytime. You can go after them for stealing your property through property tax, whatever, anytime. So next we're going to take a look at. So in this package is actually 3 lawsuits. This one is $200 million federal civil rights complaint and statement of constitutional emergency lawsuit for wrongful foreclosure. Forgery. That signature that happened after you left the signing table. Forgery, and there's some other forged signatures all along the way because it's an administrative thing. So that forgery is powerful. Deed fraud. Now, the due process violations everybody talks about, but do you really know? What that means is that the process wasn't fair. We think we're in a judicial court, and we're not. We're in an administrative court. They make up the rules, do whatever they want. So if they foreclosed on you already, then you can go in with this, jam up the whole process, and then get there and get a certified copy of the complete doc sheet to take with you over to federal court. Now, this is the offer to pay letter. We included this letter generally was only in the premium foreclosure defense package. This letter we included in the property tax package, also in the commercial property tax package. This letter is used to challenge them on the mortgage lien before you're in default. It has in it on the second page, it has a statute that they require, and it's a law that their attorneys, all the government workers are supposed to. The statute mandates that they're supposed to provide the original instrument of indebtedness in its original form when they call in the full loan amount, and they don't do that. That's pretty much it on offer pay. Now, we mail the offer to pay letter to them certified, or we make them sign for it so that we have verification that they received it. And then later on, I tell people to send a copy over to the clerk. Put your name, your name, your address on there, even if there's not a case against you. Okay, because the same parties are the ones doing this to everybody, and you just put that information, you send it in to them and tell them that they're gonna foreclose on me pretty soon. So I just want you guys to have this so you can file in the case. I know it sounds, you need to understand what you learn how to do here is use the facts trump their case law, trumps their procedures, their policies, all of that. And that's why attorneys always be talking crap or talking about how many cases have, how many, no. Oh, the case law is what they put on the table. It's not going to help. It's not going to help us. All that, when you look at it that way, all that does is open up the arguing. Okay, we ain't trying to have that. So we don't worry about case law. We go on with the facts, Jack. And then we have a demand to strike the judge's order. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and the statutes, right? So can you make them go get my deed? Okay, because they got my deed in their office, and the property transfer statute says they're supposed to deliver my deed to my house. But Judge, my legal team said what they did was a constructive delivery and registered it in the office. Now, I'm not sure if you know what a constructive delivery is. I'm going to assume you don't because I think you're honest. Okay, I got to slow that last line. Yeah. Oh, well, constructive delivery means that once they register, they're not going to ever talk about the fact that it was private property, your private property, before. And then once it's registered, that allows them to reclassify your property and property tax. But there's one other thing that happened when they registered your property. When they registered your property, that allowed the first illegal lien to be put on your property. Oh, no, I ain't talking about the tax lien. I'm talking about everybody's property got the same shit. Work with me. If there were several people who own property, all of those owners would have to be at the table to sign that lien, right? So the fact that they accepted the signature from you is proof that you own the property already, and I smell stink. But I done my homework. I can break it down for you. All right, you went to the table, you signed, and then they didn't let you take nothing home with you to go put your deed in your Bible or in your firebox or under your mattress with your money or outside in the coffee can, wherever. They didn't let you do that. They kept it. And then after you left the table, they stamped pay to the order of on it. And usually a bank vice president or Linda Green, the robo-signer, there's a couple of other famous ones, sign, and they process it through the Federal Reserve for electronic credits. Now, Modern Money Mechanics is a publication put out by these dudes who know way more about the fracking banking system than I do. They said that these fools was granted 9 times the amount that went into a demand deposit account. 9 times the amount. And then they wrote a check for one amount to 9 times the amount. So that money was generated with your signature. Well, the second signature was done illegally, and they turned it into a security. And then they made a copy of it to mail to you to let you think that if you made a copy of a security and mailed it to them to make them think that they're in charge of, they'll be knocking on your door. They might not even knock. I don't know. Now, here is the residential property tax fraud lawsuit package. A regular $700 value on sale for the next couple of days. For the next couple of days. Don't call me later if you guys miss it. Next couple of days. And right here, we got one of our videos from Nikki Ross. Yeah, that review video from Nikki Ross was what got us kicked off of Teachable. And you see right here the documents that you get. We just kind of outline them a little bit. $199. This don't sell for $199. And we have instructional video right there too that you can click on. We got the videos right there. You ain't got to go nowhere to see the fire right there. Go get them, coach. We got that technomology. Yeah, I'm just going out on this package. Ain't nobody. This package is undefeated. They can't. This package, they can't. When you come in with the facts, that's a wrap. There's no arguing. There's nothing they can do when you come in with the facts. When you the facts, that's it. It's a wrap. So we talk about the counterclaim strategy, the internal conflict that jams up their system. This is one of the most effective ways to stop court action. And the counterclaim process can be used in your own stuff. You don't even have to be, you just add them to their own parties. And now we're not talking about whether or not you stated a claim or whether or not you whatever, because none of that matters because you added them. I don't think it matters. Because they can't answer. They can't litigate a case they're a party to. They can't. And I wonder why attorneys don't tell people this. Damn. Yeah, we figured it out over her. Because we got some people that's getting tired of getting punched in the face. So if you're getting tired of getting punched in the face, you're getting tired of giving up that money for the property tax when you get done getting educated, then I think you're going to see things a little bit different. And it's going to be a little harder to get that money out of the bank to go give these people when you can make them go sit their half down. We got people in the program that have used this. They didn't get their deed, but they didn't get a tax bill either and haven't got one. And that's good. But, them they're still in the house and they're happy, I guess. I would be a whole lot happier to have my deed put where I want it so I don't have to worry about that no more. Okay, well, I tell you they're going to come back. They ain't gone too far. They're going to come back. Until you get your deed out of their office, they still have control of your stuff. Now, this here we got going on right here, it's scheduled for 10th January, a couple of days before. And, I started doing some work on this because property tax keep going up everywhere. Everybody is going up, outrageously going up. How can that be? I'm like, well, the breakdown that I do, how I do mine, I have to understand. If you understand where the tax money is going, then you'll understand why the hell it's going up like it is. Do you know where your tax money is? Hell no, you don't. I don't think you do. I'm pretty sure you don't. Because I spent most of the day the other day, I'm not going to say how many hours because I don't want nobody to think I'm stupid, okay? Guys, I'm a little weird. All right, but see, here's the thing. The breakdown on the budget and all this stuff, it's missing. Where's they have a jail? Where's the estimate for the medical costs for the inmates at the jail? The dental and medical. Where's the transportation, the cost for all, where's the court costs of all these, all those. Okay, how about the federal? Yeah, we're gonna talk about this in the workshop. And when the workshop's done, you're gonna totally understand why the hell that your property taxes have been going up like they are. You're gonna totally understand. And if anybody can come to that workshop and tell me what the most expensive thing is that your property tax is going, the most costly thing, that's totally stupid. If you can tell me what that is, I'll let you pick something off the website. I ain't lying. I was just doing this little homework and I was going to make a blog. I'm like, oh no, this is a whole workshop right here. They've been taking to my tax money, not mine because I don't pay, What are they doing with it? When you find out what they're doing with it, you'll understand why they keep going up with it. And you'll know what the hell you need to do about it. They're going to be really grumpy about this. And you know what? What I found, I had to go down the hole. And, I can hear some people speaking Chinese. No offense against Chinese-speaking people. But I didn't go all the way to the end. After you get done, okay, if you're a noticer, after you get done, you start noticing other stuff keeps popping up in your head. What I studied to bring to the workshop still ain't as it can't. It still ain't. Because I still got some questions. I got time to figure them out because it works out not till 10. But I'm gonna have them all figured out, and they're gonna make sense. And that's what I tell people. If the shit makes sense, what the hell we need to worry about? Whatever, all of that. Let's get done. Property tax lawsuit package on sale for the last few days of this month. $200. I mean, $199. You could just round it off to $400. I mean, $200 if you want. But you know what? I got a bash from Amazon. All right, so I know what I'm talking about. Let's go. We're going live. We're running just a little bit behind schedule, but we're here. So you guys give me a minute and let me get you all clicked in. The people who have questions about their order, because the information that went through didn't crush it. I think those people probably should be first with the questions when we get to the end. So when we get to the end, if there are people with questions about their order because we didn't cover what we needed to, make sure you're looking at things from the non-conventional side. Then I think those would be the questions that we want to answer first, because those will be the ones. And someone else may have those questions in their head too, but or in their situation, but they haven't just thought about them in hand. Okay, so before we get started, I'm going to ask you guys, and if you worked with me before, you know that you understand. I'm going to ask you to check your emotions at the curb during the thing, and afterwards when we're talking about the judge that's jamming you up, whatever. I need you to check your emotions at the curb. And the reason I say that is because, number one, nobody makes good decisions when they're like, you know what I'm saying, and so pretty much that's what the goal becomes in the ring, in the battle, to get people flustered and maxed out so they can't stay focused on why they're here, why they're doing this. They're only focused on the what. To focus on the what, because our system has indoctrinated us to believe that we have rights. And if you went to the last, the only right you have is the right to shut the hell up. And they tell you that when they're arresting your ass. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Okay, so all that's right except the court of law part. It should be in the administrative court where we get to do whatever the hell we want to. Okay, but the other thing is too that people need to understand that your emotional stuff and all that energy is great if you're doing the same thing that you were doing before. Okay? If you're not doing the same thing that you was doing before, then you're not learning because your head is looking the other way. Okay, your head's looking the other way. That's real important. The other thing is, I don't really deal well with people and the fear. And I don't really plan on working on that. Now, I tried to be respectful and considerate or whatever. But at the end of the day, what is it you do? And I asked a lady this one day. I was talking to her on the phone, and my ex-wife was sitting there drinking coffee. And I said, so tell me, what are you more fearful of going to court and talking and facing the judge and talking to the judge? Or are you more fearful of them coming down the street in their caravan of sheriff deputies to throw your stuff out in the yard. And she thought for a second. And she said, Coach, it's 50-50. Now, she thought too long, and I was already, I'm in that coach. I got to stay out front, okay? When she said 50-50, click, I just hung up on her. And my ex-wife was like, what the hell? Then I called her back in a couple of minutes, and she's laughing because she understood. She understood. Okay, you got a better chance of getting up in the judge's face than you got at trying to convince these sheriff deputies and that came out to throw your stuff in the yard that they need to give you another chance. Okay, so I'm just, I told her, she don't look out the window, you see that line? No one can learn while they're in a state of fear. No one can learn while they're in a state of fear. As an athlete, you're taught to chunk that, see yourself at the beginning, and see how the end is supposed to be, going to be, and then the champion work out the middle. So the first thing we're going to talk about tonight after we watch the video is protection and control. And when I say protection, I'm talking protecting your property, protecting your freedom and not being locked up in jail, or protecting your family from the plea deal. Okay, that's protecting your family from being put in a position where you have to take the deal. Okay, so we'll talk about that. Right now, I'm going to share, screen share, and let you guys watch the video that I made, chopping up the Rooker-Feldman doctrine. And, write down, actually, after the video's done, then we'll talk about anything that anyone has to say about that before we start with the rest of the stuff. I think that would be a good idea. Ashley T, it says her device is not connected. Ashley, can you hear us? Now, I had a friend before that couldn't get on, but she could hear us, and she was able to message us her thoughts in the comment window there. Ashley, you can text me too. I'm not sure if you're even here. I can see your name on there, so I'm going to assume that you're here, but I can't add you to the list. But anyway, we're going to go ahead, and I see you, Coach Regina. Are you? No, let me add you to the stage. Okay, there you go. Go ahead and mute your mic unless you need to say something. Now, if you guys notice somebody else come in or whatever while I'm doing other things, let me know. Unmute your mic and tell me, because I can't, sometimes I don't see that stuff. And like, I didn't even see her here until I saw her smile. Who the hell is that smiling? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start the video, and I'll give anybody else a little bit. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We still got a couple of people that didn't make it in, and Henry was going to come. He called me at the last minute, but I wasn't able to get around to doing everything, and I didn't know what happened to Justin. Also, I want to say that if we're having a live stream, you guys, I'm going to set it up where I'm sending out the link the night before. That way everybody can relax about it and figure out what's going on. If you get the link and it doesn't have the time, you can go to the website and take a look at the product page and the website to see all the time and all that stuff. And if you paid and you didn't get the link or you can't log in, obviously, it'd be nice to call me. It'd be nice to call me 4 or 5 or 6 hours before it's time for me to do all this. If you call, 20 minutes before showtime, then I'm going to be a little bit short. And if that's the situation, because you're sick or you died or whatever, the best thing to do is say, okay, coach, you're right. Next time I'll try and I'll text you, okay, before 20 minutes showtime. But, we're getting these things worked out so that, that's the value of the real-time feedback. We're getting these things worked out so that things can go smooth and whatever. So the next one, I'll make sure that the link that gets sent out with the thing from StreamYard has the time and everything in it, so there won't be any confusion. So we're learning on the run as we learn how to have some fun. Okay, so let me do a screen share. And a statutory count of days or months or years to get your property back, to fight for your property after you've been wrong. The Rookin Feldman. So the doctrine has been misapplied. And so here are some other jurors that are similar. I've heard of this one, the younger abstinent. And each one of these are twisted just a little bit different in the reason why they're not allowing the state court to use the plaintiff in state court to use the federal court for the appeals court. But that's not what's going on with homeowners. It's been misapplied, and homeowners don't understand that they're not talking about them down there. And to take it a step further, in this program, you're going into federal court and paying $400 and filing a new case in federal court against these people. So there's no way. Come on now. If you file a brand new case and you have a case number and you paid the $400, how can they say that's an appeal from the state court? No, it's not an appeal. It's a lawsuit against them. And if you use the complete certified copy of the state court docket, you can take that with you, the docket sheet with you, to prove that you were violated, your due process was violated just last week. Now, once the judge does this to you, then it's time to do a supplemental. I would do a supplemental pleading and add the judge to it and add the government, whatever, again, the layer, just add to supplemental pleading and just follow, outline why. Because the judge is clearly misapplying the statute in order to assist the fellow bar members. Okay. That's my opinion, that he's clearly misapplying it. Maybe he's not clearly misapplying it. Maybe he's intentionally misapplying it with the intent of helping. Oh, wait. And I say that because here's the thing. Why is the judge answering with that as a come back to throw your stuff out anyway? No, I don't think so. I think the other parties are supposed to be answering and trying to say that that's where they're going to go. But, in their administrative thing, they're in a hurry because they got so many people that can line up to get jacked up. Mm-hmm. So now, once they punch you in the face and violate your due process, it's time to sue them. If you don't do that, then you might as well go. Whoever violates you, add them to the list. It's pretty simple, right, Cameron? Add them to the list. We're just gonna let that sit right there. That's pretty much it. That didn't take long. Bam. But that's the way it rolls. So that's it on that. It's simple. It's always simple. If it ain't simple, somebody lying. I'm just going to throw it on the table. Their stuff starts out in crap and they can't fix it. No matter what they do, it's still going to smell like what it is. I'm just saying. Thank you guys for the value of sharing your time. Going live. Welcome to tonight's live stream. We're moving kind of slow. Been sicker than a couple of dogs. And but the last time I did a video, I was cold. And welcome to the situation tonight. We're going to talk about some mistakes and stuff first, and then we're going to talk about the foreclosure situation and how we handle that stuff in California or non-judicial. Okay, so when you invest in a premium package, that would be any package that's that costs the most. Okay, you're supposed to use the updated instructional video that come with that package, that downloads with that package. You can't go back to the YouTube channel and start using all those other videos and doing a whole bunch of different stuff. Okay? The premium package is structured to cut to the chase of all that stuff. And if you don't use it that way, you're wasting your money. And you're going to get yourself in a jam. And we have some people that are doing that already. They're the premium package. They're using all these other things. I had one person telling me that their mom got their mom got evicted or whatever. I'm like, well, here's some of the things I did, and I'm just kind of looking at it. Wait a minute, I don't have no show cause hearing motion in my stuff. Where the hell's that? Oh wait, what's this other motion? What's this? So people start doing their own thing. And then when it's getting ugly, then they're contacting me, wanting me to help. No. If you don't follow the way the program is structured, I can't coach you. I don't know what you're doing over there. What I do know is if you're using my stuff and you're doing it right, they're not going to have jurisdiction. They're not going to be able to do anything. Unless you file a show cause hearing motion in the stuff that I don't know why you would even need it. No, I don't know. Okay, so anything that you file in their conventional program is not going to help you. Oh, wait, the game plan for the state is to stop the state process. And we do that by filing the lawsuit that you're going to file in federal court, in state court, because state court players, they can't respond. They cannot respond to federal case law or federal acts with statutes and codes. No. No, they'd have to have a license. They'd have to have a bar card. They probably would need one different than the one on my website. Yeah, there's one on the website, $25. Yeah, they're probably gonna need the bar card. That's the problem. And it's structured that way to check down. Okay? Now we learn all their structure, their rules, how they do, then we figure out where they weak at. Bam, we punch them right there a whole bunch of times. Yeah. And so that's what we do. If you invest in the premium foreclosure defense package that's half price at, I don't know, $1,500, I think, or something. If you invest in that package, okay, you're not only going after them for the 42 USC 1983. That's what we address in the lower package. But you're also going after them for the real estate deed fraud, the mortgage fraud, the actual path that the paperwork took after your ass left the table, after you signed and left the table. And they stamp paid to the order of on it. And the bank vice president signed it without recourse, some blah, blah, blah. And that shit's still on your paperwork. It probably still is. And then they process it through the Federal Reserve for electronic credits. So there was no loan, and it was generated with your signature. So these are some of the things that the premium package addresses, in addition to the 42 USC hauling your asses in the administrative court. And so you're saying there's 6 things missing from the contract that the attorneys filed in court, and you and the lender agreed to all 6 of these things. One of the things that you're saying that's missing is that you and the lender agreed that the mortgage deal would be done according to the GAAP accounting principles. Bam! Ow! And, well, they can't say that it was, because it wasn't. They can't say that it wasn't, because they'd be admitting that they're violating federal law, and that's why you're suing them. And there's one other thing in there too. You're also agreeing with the lender. You and the lender agreed, and this stuff's missing because the attorneys took it out or something, that the borrower would be repaid. And your signature is So that lawsuit, that package is off the chain, and it's what we had in the online course, and it's going to be part of the new online course. Okay, but if you don't use it right, and you buy it, and then you go over here and start doing all this other stuff, those people are going to be like, oh my God, they have no idea what they're doing. Okay, put it on the table. Oh, wait, here's another thing. So the goal is to stop the state court process before you file your lawsuit in federal court. That's the goal. Stop the process. That's it. And you do that by, I already told you at the top of the show, filing that first. Stop the process. That's the goal. Stop the state court process. But no, I got people telling me, oh, I filed the motion to show cause, and they're still doing this and they're still doing that. Did you even add the right people to it? Number one, the Supreme Court, the state, the judge. Did you even add those people? So, yeah. And so, I had someone tell me yesterday that they took they took the state off of the marriage dissolution, the marriage to stop the divorce stopper. They took the state off the divorce stopper, and yeah, they did a bunch of other stuff too. And so yeah, that person is moved to the back of the list for coaching. So okay, guys, the real-time feedback from people in the group and have been using this stuff is how we got to where we're at. Why would you want to come here and start doing different shit? I don't understand. It's easy. Replace the red font. I got people still telling me, but it doesn't get to my situation. No. Your situation is that you don't know what the hell you're doing. If you want to have your situation in their conventional program, then you should go over there, and you probably shouldn't waste your money, which you don't get back anyway because I don't return money on files. Okay, but the problem is that you need to bring your situation over here if you expect anything good to happen. Okay, because that's how that works. And your situation is that they dragged you in their administrative court process. That's your situation. That's all y'all's situation. Now, there's some more situations on top of that, but that's the main situation. Not what the hell they said or all of that shit. No, your situation is that they dragged your happy ass in their administrative court process that operates from the local rules. The local rules are from the Supreme Court, and that's why we add the Supreme Court to the lawsuit at the gate. The local rules aren't connected to the Constitution or any rights or civil nothing except money for them. Pretty much. The local rules. So we don't remove the state. You got to be kidding me. You don't remove the state. You're suing the state because the state is the one that's trying to steal your shit. The state is the one that's jamming your ass up and trying to make you go through their divorce process. They want you to pay so they can have this administrative judge like Judge Catherine, whatever her name was trying to do Mike. And of course, she's facing a $200 million lawsuit over in federal court now because they wouldn't straighten up. And you know what the coolest thing about that was? Somebody over there helped my foster kid get the right stuff. Okay, right before we're ready to go file in federal court, he got a certified copy of the entire state docket. Certified copy. It was thick, like that thick. 5 weeks earlier, there's only 3 things in it. Oh, they did a whole bunch of shit. All of that stuff is all fake stuff that they threw in there when they sent the attorney generals down here or assistant attorney generals down here to help her out. So, yeah. And so where I'm going with that is when you get done stopping the state court process, okay, you don't want to ask for this the same time that you jam the stuff in their face. Okay, you want to go back later to make sure it's on the record. And then at that time, I would ask them for a certified copy of the entire docket sheet. The entire docket. Now, when I got to federal court and I filed that, and she said, "What's this?" This is my certified copy of the entire docket sheet. There's a few things missing out of here. And there's a whole bunch of extra stuff that's been added and it don't even fit. Yeah, she looked at me. And I'm sure they've added some other stuff because they tried to go on and they actually awarded her everything because she's pregnant, or at least they said she was. She's a liar, so I don't know. And she's been running around. Okay, let's move on. And we don't add 42 defendants. Okay, if you're adding 42 defendants, then and then you're kind of emotionally and you need to check it at the curb, okay? Because we do a supplemental pleading if we need to make a change. That's how we do that. We do a supplemental pleading, and you can figure out how to do that if you go to how to amend and go down to the bottom of the amend thing. That's how we do it. We don't add 42 defendants. When you add all those extra people, it makes it almost impossible for you to keep up with them when they're giving you a hard time. Now, you can always add people that you want. It don't really matter if you have 42 or just the main corporations, the main people who are signing for the corporations, and just their regular name. Oh, there's in their corporate name, in the other name, in the other name. Like, oh my God. People are killing me right now. Some of y'all just getting way too smart. And we're going to see how that works out in the end. Now, we're going to have a live stream tomorrow.